This is Coffee Kevin, and I want to bring a personal favorite that I have done before, but I wasn't really happy with the clip. I'm probably going to repeat a few. The other thing is, I wanted to let you know I'll just say this at the beginning. We're thinking of coming on every day with something. Just right now, it's not that we don't have a lot of other things to do or anything like that, but we we have some holes in our schedule, so to speak. So we're going to do that, and I'm determined to get some people that are celebrities, so it's not just my beautiful face and voice. And we will have some Skype, interactions, and I've been practicing them with my brother at the Cine Productions Facebook page. So anyway, those are embarrassing. Please don't watch them. Anyway, the Cafflano Classic coffee maker. This is my secret bargain today, and I think it's an appropriate show to do because they're available online, for one thing. I've never seen one in a brick and mortar store, and I can't get into any brick and mortar stores to check right now. So it's a perfect coffee maker for today. It's sleek. It's perfect for the 1 cup. Not too small either. It makes a full 10-ounce cup, which really, in my family, is 2 cups. Typically, and I give guests 5-ounce cups. I just love 5-ounce cups. And for one thing, I can get the cups from cool thrift shops, and they're always in places like Hungary and stuff like that. It's part of my collection. Best of all, this coffee maker has my name on it. They actually laser etched it in there, and I know you can't see it, but I have to tell you, our camera person is working from home today, so that's the shots will be good, and they'll be we'll move around correctly, but anyway. The guys who make the Cafflano Classic live in Korea, and they've exhibited at CoffeeCon, and God willing, they'll be back. In fact, on Kickstarter, they've got a new grinder that's scheduled for release soon if they raise the bread. So I'm going to post a link below, and I always promise to do that, but in this case, since it's for someone else and not my patron page or anything, I promise Pat will make me do it, right? So thank you. Okay, and then, you can imagine whipping this out in public. Well, don't worry, it'll happen again someday that you'll be in public. And again, for some asking for boiling water, you do have to ask for boiling water. I'll tell you a cute story in a second. But this is the cool thing. The whole time I've been looking forward to this moment. Look at this. I don't know if there's a close-up that shows this better. Yeah, that shows it. And this is, I love this. This is the ultimate James Bond tool. I mean, if only this had been around for Dr. No or Goldfinger. Anyway, just imagine grinding your own beans and a terrific hand-poured drip coffee. And I think they did the philosophical math on this and said, well, it's better to put an inboard grinder in it. And let me tell you something else that's cool about it that I normally, by the way, if you notice, I don't review a lot of coffee makers with onboard grinders that are electric coffee makers. And there's a reason for that. And it was told to me by a manufacturer of one of them once at a houseware show of all places. Remember that? They had... This grinder is very cool, but they told me that the problem is if you have a grinder, keeping moisture away from a grinder while it's brewing is almost impossible. And that is a big issue with onboard grinders. So this one, the great thing about it is when you're done grinding, you just pull it off, and here's your filter. Anyway. This is a permanent filter, and then, of course, this is your reservoir brewing device, and it's all neatly, goes together again. All right. A few years ago, I had to take a gig writing for a client. I took a look at their coffee machine. Well, let's just say I decided to bring in my own. Frankly, the guy who owned the place didn't drink coffee. Well, we never became close. Anyway, here's how I used it. I measure the beans in advance. And this is, by the way, you could bring a tiny, I just realized this, I have a scale that's about this big, and you could bring that and you could weigh them. No problem. But I feel the gestalt of this is kind of ease. You know, I kind of like to look like I don't know, a nonconformist from another time. And then here we go. And then we just put one. And let's see, we're going to make 2 cups, in effect. 2. Now, I'm going to say I don't work too hard to, I just make sure there's enough coffee. And frankly, what I'm getting now is, let's see, that's going to be about 10 grams per cup. That's about 20 grams. You know, that's fine. I grind a little coarser too. Oh, by the way, I want to point out something. Well, we'll get to that in a second. I could even place them in the grinder, by the way, before stuffing it in my backpack. I'd measure using the requisite coffee formula usually, but again, I don't weigh them in this case. The Classic is really considered a 1 cup. The only hassle that I find to this whole thing is getting the hot water. And fortunately, in most situations, I've been able to get it. A benign and ecumenical tea drinker, by the way, had a kettle at this company, and the owner ignored us both. So they let me the kettle anytime I wanted it, and I'll show you how to do it with a kettle. By the way, I take the kettle to boiling. Let's pretend I'm headed downtown, okay? This place, I'm here to grind the coffee. So where's the grinder, right? Here it is, okay. And then I will grind. And by the way, this always looks bad. And usually I hold this between my legs to grind. And whoops. Can you believe I did that? Well, that's why we do live. Let me do it between my legs, the rest of it. And let me see if I can put a few beans in here. Pat, that's one for the outtake reel. Okay. All right. That's why you should always grind it this way. And if you can get, oh my gosh, we have a shot. Who got that shot? Oh, thank you, Mac. Oh, I should have done this to begin with. And I mean, always, you know, you've already announced that you're a geek to people when you use a coffee maker like this. I mean, face it, you've driven away friends you didn't want anyway by using one. If it looks like a toy to you, it's not. It's and this has real burrs in it. It's not any, well, obviously not any kind of blade grinder. Anyway, we now have this off. And again, these guys have thought of everything. They've really thought of the flow of it. Look at this. Now I have below, I have a beautiful, I don't know which camera can get this here. The camera looks like it's pretty good at it. It's got this nice grind, and it is a really decent grind. I mean, it's a slow and, you know, it's got that manual process, but I'm telling you, it's a good grinder. So. And of course, they have the new one that's on Kickstarter, and they claim that's even better. So I'll have to try it. Let me put this somewhere else. There's a couple of beans I missed, but that's okay. All right, and then really from then on, it's just pour. And now let me see if I've got. Oh, I was going to say, what was it, James Hoffman? He had a video the other day where he advised everyone to use boiling water on every type of coffee. I don't agree with that at all, as a matter of fact, but I certainly think for this type of method, this will work out great, and let me show you why in a second. soon as this gets to boiling, and this is just the simple, the cheapest, just like the one I had. This is a Bonavita. Their kettles are all great, but this is one before they had any temperature controls on them. So I don't use it much for pour-overs or, any coffee making anymore, because I do believe each degree, Mr. Hoffman, does matter. But this is, anyway, this is an opportunity. I owned a Zassenhaus, by the way, which is a German grinder, a hand grinder, which at one time was the hottest portable grinder. I think in Corby Kummer's Atlantic article, he recommended it. And it's even got a slope in the wooden, it's beautiful wood device. It belongs on a shelf, and that's where I keep mine now. But the wretched grind dial never stayed put on mine, ever. Well, let me tell you something I really like about this one, and if I've got that close-up, I'll use it. Either one. Just give me a close-up. I'll go to either camera. There we go. Okay, let me show you this. You take this and you bring this up, and then you can change grind settings. There we go. It's pretty easy when I'm not on camera. So let's see if it is. I may have to take it off, but if I do, it's no big deal. Okay, and then you just move it a notch, and then you're back in. Okay? So you'll see I've just changed the grind a little bit, and I almost guarantee you I will never remember to reset it, but maybe I will. All right, and that's, so we're ready. And the cool thing now is, watch this. This water is boiling. I mean, absolutely. Now you fill this cup. I don't know if we have a shot of that. Oh yeah, we do. We have a nice shot of that. And we fill it up right to this button here. You see that? Is it on the side? You can see it better. Yeah. Okay, I filled it up right to the button. And that should be 10 ounces of water. Now here's the cool thing about it. Let's see what it goes temperature-wise. See? That's 190, 198, 190, perfect brewing temperature. Let's get going, folks. Okay, and actually, you can just keep it on that camera. Oops, a little bit of water strayed, and I like to turn it around like this. Okay, all right, and then we've got my bloom happening. By the way, let me tell you a little bit about. We're gonna wait a minute anyway for the rest. This is a Honduras coffee light roast from One Village Coffee, and these guys are fast becoming a favorite of mine. They're a Pennsylvania roaster. They're actually in Solderton, Pennsylvania, and they do deliver by shipping, and I really like I just like their roasters. They're a family business, and what I like about them is they're not overly fussy. They are, I'm sure, buying their green beans, but they're not. They don't promote themselves so much as like a third wave. They have all the different roasts, and even their medium roast is very, very light, and their light roast is never so light that it's like has that tart taste that I don't care for in third wave. So, in some third waves. How's that? All right, and then really from then on you can pour it all in here if you want to, but go as fast as the dripper will let you, and you will be surprised at what a great cup of coffee this is. And let me continue. I asked, this is a story I promised to tell you. When I first got it, I was talking to Stephen at Cafflano, Stephen Kim, and I asked if I could place it in a microwave so I could heat the water up. He just fixed his eyes on me in horror. No microwave ever. Okay. So you do need hot water from somewhere. So just boil using any old tea kettle will do. I hate to use the word tea, but I just did. Because you'll lose the heat transfer, as you saw. It'll never be too hot. Here's the next pour. And I just keep pouring, moving it around like this. When I'm not on camera, I'm much smoother. There we go. And then, so don't worry about the boiling water. It will not be boiling. In fact, I've generally found the temperature to be just about perfect. Let's see, where are we right now? Well, I don't think we're going to be as high as we want to be right now because I can't. All right, and then. And you will find usually you get about a 6-minute extraction. If you don't, you grind a little coarser. And the pouring is easy once you get the hang of it. It may not be easy on camera, but the lid screw, and also, oh, I meant to do this. I forgot to do one thing that I should have done, and probably cost me a few degrees now at this point. But you can, this is how carefully they thought this out. It also prevents some of the dripping I had. You can just use it like that. You can pop this on it. It holds on there pretty well. You still need to keep a finger on it for safety, but you won't lose water or heat. It'll help maintain the heat. But again, I think you get the idea. I mean, Cafflano's attention to detail is commendable. It's about perfect. It's not too wide a stream or narrow of a stream, the water going on there. And as you can see, and I'll hold this up so we can point at one. Which camera is closer? That one? No, that one. Okay, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Don't look away. Here we go. You see that in there? That is just a flat, very flat looking grind. There we go. I don't know if you can zoom in anymore. Is that it? Ah, there we go. Yeah. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's how the ground should look on any drip machine at the end. And it really, it's coffee now. So let's take our. This will make 2 cups, and because I've been, I know you can't believe this, but I've been a little difficult this morning. I'm going to give both these cups to the 2 people that are here, and I will give our camera person a virtual cup, but we'll make that later, and I will share that with him. Well, that's not quite. I spilled some, so anyway, we have these cups. I will take a taste on here because I've got some other coffee. I'll make it again in a second. Oh, wow. I mean, this is just beautiful. This is a very fresh coffee. And they're using a honey processing method. I have no idea what that means. That's got to be, that'd be a great Skype interview. Maybe Todd Larrabee, who works at One Village, would be willing to get on Skype and talk to us. Peach, plum, and floral. Well, I can tell you, I'm not sure what floral even tastes like. I haven't eaten too many flowers, but the scent, yeah. I mean, it's very fruity smelling. I definitely get the peach. I'm not tasting plum yet, but maybe at different temperatures. Sometimes the temperatures, in fact, they always change at different serving temperatures. So this is a delicious cup of coffee. And this is an easy coffee maker to use. And again, I'm faced with more times lately when I'm drinking a cup either by myself or with one other person and no more. So, this is not I haven't been doing a lot of big batches lately. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that. It's a Guatemala, by the way, and isn't it? Oh, no, it's a Honduras. I'm sorry, I had a Guatemala that I was thinking of trying out. That'll be the next one. It's a great hand pour. Way better than the brewer that I had at the office access to. and you know, it was from Home Depot or someplace like that. This is a really nice thing, and you can take it around. It's very portable. It's really not a mess when I use it other places than on in front of a camera. But now let's talk for a second. Yeah, we're thinking of coming, trying to see if we can do during the week at least one. Come on several times. We'll try even once a day, and see if anyone wants to. And then my attitude too is please interact, ask questions. Maybe we'll do some call-in stuff. I don't know, whatever works. I would love to do video calls, and no problem. And we're just really looking forward to interacting more, not less. And I just want to, I enjoy these. I enjoy doing this. It's the highlight of my day. So let me tell you, you can always go to Patreon and look up CoffeeCon. CoffeeCon, by the way, we have an October, first week or second week, I guess, in October event. I think it's the 10th and 11th. And it's in Warrenville. We're just west of Chicago. It's very easy access. We're very excited about that, and I want to say I'm hoping obviously that we're able to do it, but I'm not in any way can't know any more than anybody else does. I don't really have a link to the people who would be making those decisions. I count on what I read, and I just am. But I'm telling you that still goes ahead. But meanwhile, there's a lot to communicate through this that can get you at least some information. And unlike other people, I don't really pretend to be a coffee expert. I pretend to be. I not only pretend to be. I think I genuinely am a coffee enthusiast, and that's what it is for me. It's all about just loving coffee and loving to make it great. And all the different ways. And I want to point out, just like audiophiles know about music, how you produce it in your home is absolutely critical and can make a huge difference. I mean, listening to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony or a favorite record album, the Coldplay or whatever, on a boombox or some other device is very different than hearing it on a beautifully full, rich system. And the same thing with coffee. So there's a lot of things to learn about it. I'm still learning myself all the time. Anyway, I am Coffee Kevin, and it's really great to see you. Oh, you can go. We'll put a link below again for the Cafflano fundraising. And anyway, we'll see you soon.